We are here, we made it. 5 reviews in 5 days, each under 5 minutes for the International Booker Longlist. Hi, my name is Sarah Freshly and welcome to Freshly Read Books. If you haven't been following these reviews throughout the week, these are the books that I have talked about Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. That's right, today we are talking about After the Sun by Jonas Eika, and translated by Sherilyn Hellberg. This is a collection of 5 short stories, but the second and the 5th one are the same. They have the same name. They're like kind of the same short story, or like a continuation of it. Not just like the same one printed twice. That would be ridiculous. Now, we all know that I love a short story collection, but this one I've got mixed feelings on. The first story I enjoyed, and I felt like it had some great writing. It was called Alvin, and it was about this kind of shady banker situation. I almost wish that this story had actually been placed somewhere in the middle of the collection instead of up front, because I think that it sets different expectations than what the rest of the collection brings. However, I do recognize that Eika might have done this on purpose, like setting these expectations and then being like, forget all that, we're gonna push this thing as far as it can go. It seems like a him thing to do based off of the other short stories in this collection. Bad Mexican Dog is the title of the 2nd and 5th short story collection in this. It is about these beach boys at this hotel on the beach. And for this story, I really liked the first part of it, like the part that was the 2nd story in the collection, and the one that was at the end, I didn't love. Like, actually, I think that only the first 2 stories I kind of liked, and then the other 3 I was not a fan of. So I remember going through story 3 and 4 and being like, I can't wait to get back to Bad Mexican Dog because I liked that story, and then getting back to it and being like, oh, well, okay. But the main thing that I liked about Bad Mexican Dog was that it kind of had this conversation about tourism, or these tourists that are here and they seem to like kind of move it as like a mob, as like a whole body of tourists. And they all are, you know, laying out on the beach in like these perfect lines. And I just like books in general that talk about tourism, specifically in non-Western cultures that largely attract a big Western influence. I just think that there's a lot to say on that, a lot of nuances, and it's a really interesting thing to explore. One of my favorite books that does that is This Mournable Body by Tsitsi Dankarembwa, and that one was actually on the Booker 2020 shortlist and was absolutely phenomenal. So if you're also interested in like books that kind of touch on that, I would highly recommend it. Okay, this is not a review on that. I already did this. I did a review on that book. So let's get back to After the Sun. So yeah, enjoyed the first 2, kind of slogged through the rest, particularly the 3rd story, Rachel Nevada is the name of it. I didn't like it. There was like maybe 10 to 20 pages somewhere in the middle that got a little bit like gruesome. I'm pretty squeamish, and so I have a hard time reading certain things in books, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I had a very hard time for a specific part of the 3rd short story in this collection. All in all, would the Booker Frog and I recommend this book? And I think it's gonna be a no. I was pretty close on this one because there are things that it's doing that I think are neat. Neat's not the right word to describe this book, but different, I don't know. But all in all, if you're gonna read a short story collection that's from this long list, I would highly recommend either going with Cursed Bunny or Happy Stories mostly. I'd also like to say that if you're interested in hearing more about this book, definitely check out Kieran's video. I actually do make an appearance in it in a very silly way. And also Brandon from Brandon's Bookshelf did a video where he was having like a conversation with Kieran about this book, and that was a really fascinating conversation to watch. So I'd also very, very much recommend that. And Brandon's channel in general, I've recently found it and have been really enjoying it. He even said something about Rachel Nevada, the 3rd short story, that got me to be like, oh, okay, I could see good parts of this, which I think is quite an accomplishment. Well, that brings us to the end of this week of reviews, but of course I will still be reviewing the other books that are on the International Booker 2022 long list. So if you want to join me for the rest of that journey, be sure to subscribe, and I promise I have ones that I actually liked coming up soon. Okay, bye.